Finnish studio Remedy Entertainment are sailing uncharted waters with FBC Firebreak, their first attempt at a co-op shooter. It's coming at a time when cooperative shooting seems in vogue, with numerous other multiplayer shooters on the horizon vying for your attention as much as this one. Remedy's trademark strangeness shouldn't put non-control players off, for there's plenty here that differs from the studio's usual linear story delivery. Here's 15 things to know before buying FBC Firebreak. The Remedy Connected Universe. FBC Firebreak is set within the brutalist bowels of Control's The Oldest House, the Federal Bureau of Control's headquarters. As such, canonically, Firebreak will join Remedy Entertainment's Connected Universe, which, as any Remedy fan will know, includes Alan Wake as well as Control. The Finnish studio's signature weirdness and unpredictability is on display, but aside from agreeing to suspend all disbelief before diving in, players needn't have experienced any of Remedy's prior titles to get the most out of Firebreak. Narrative delivery, for one, won't follow Remedy's traditional route. This is a multiplayer game after all. There needs to be room for gamers to strategize in-game on mic. Who is Firebreak? In essence, Firebreak are a ragtag team of volunteer first responders tasked with eliminating the transdimensional hiss who are running amok within the Oldest House shapeshifting concrete and office blocks. Comprising combat-trained emergency responders together with personnel from across the Bureau, including office staff, secretaries, and middle management. The FBC is handing anyone and everyone a boatload of weapons, specialized equipment, and a spot of on-the-job training, all under the provisions that whatever mission Firebreak undertakes, there's a chance they won't return. What is FBC Firebreak? This is Remedy's first foray into online multiplayer co-op shooting, a game whereby teams of 3 squad mates take on a raft of phantasmagorical threats, harvest XP, upgrade gear, acquire cosmetics, rinse and repeat in endless replayability. The game can be played solo, but as per Remedy game director Mike Kayada, designing the game for teams of 3 revealed the most organic experience. In other words, the game is optimized for trios. This is not live service. A core tenet underpinning Remedy's philosophy for FBC Firebreak is for there to be as few a number of obstructions as possible between loading up the game and commencing play. For this reason, they've decided players will pay a flat rate and that's it. FBC Firebreak will not be live service. There will be no seasons or battle passes, pay-to-win microtransactions, no grind, either daily or monthly. Their hope is players can swiftly jump in and have fun with their mates without the game feeling like a chore. An experience centered on jobs. Missions, or jobs as they are dubbed by the FBC, are ostensibly the preordained set of objectives that you're used to. However, jobs will be defined by unique characteristics, a hiss-related crisis the Firebreak team must eradicate, or a specific location in the Oldest House in which the squad mates must traverse with a specific set of objectives tied to the environments and threat. Remedy Entertainment do hope that each job will feel distinct, but there are a couple of modifiers players can tweak before diving in, both of which we'll get into now. Threat level. Essentially, FBC Firebreak's difficulty setting. Selecting the level of threats translates to the ferocity of enemies, and their sheer amount you and your team will be facing during runs. Of course, the more intense the combat, the substantial the rewards for job success. Clearance level. The second of FBC Firebreak's modifiers are its pre-selectable clearance levels. See, each job undertaken is split into zones, with clearance levels then determining how many of those zones you and your squads must fight through in order to succeed. Much like threat level, predetermined clearance levels define the scale and type of rewards that your team can acquire. High threat levels, as confirmed by Remedy, can yield access to altered world items too, which, for you non-control players, are everyday objects corrupted by interdimensional force. Crisis kits. In other words, loadouts. Crisis kits in FBC Firebreak are the game's character class, with each of the 3 on offer providing access to distinct playstyles and kit-specific tools. The Fix Kit, for instance, provides a wrench which is capable of both repairing machinery and smacking the hiss silly. The Jump Kit is centered on electricity, with charge impactors and boomboxes integral for positioning and crowd control. The Water Focus Splash Kit grants ability to manipulate surroundings via crank-operated fluidic injectors and humidifiers. Requisitions. Ostensibly governing the game's cosmetic enhancements, Requisitions in FBC Firebreak are collectible sets containing cosmetics, equipment, and weapons, and they come in 2 different flavors. plain old requisitions earned through gameplay, and classified requisitions, which are cosmetic-only microtransactions. The kicker here is no requisition is timed. They can be unlocked in any order, as they'll permanently be on offer, with players able to work towards unlocking multiple requisitions simultaneously. Perks. Earned currency can also be spent on further customizations in the form of perks. These perks can switch up how you play, from loading electrified ammunition into your firepower to having missed bullets magically return to your magazine, or the ability to shake off radiation or extinguish flames simply by jumping up and down. Perks are stackable too, doubling up their potency if two of the same are equipped simultaneously. Furthermore, equip 3 perks and their effects can be shared with your squad mates. Finally, as kit proficiency improves, so does the effectiveness of any acquired perks. Release date, platforms, and price. FBC Firebreak releases to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store on June 17, 2025. Remedy Entertainment are targeting the AA realm, reflected in a price of $39.99 or €32.99 for the base game. The game will also be available on Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus's Extra tier Day 1. Post-launch content included. When Remedy says they're not pursuing a live service model with FBC Firebreak, they mean it. They've promised officially that all post-launch content, of which will include more jobs alongside more boss characters, weapons, customizations, and cosmetics, will be free. However, the latter of which probably harbors some element of paid-for content simply to keep the game in a healthy financial state. Deluxe Edition. FBC Firebreak's Deluxe Edition will retail for $49.99 US or €39.99, and in addition to the base game features 2 premium voice packs and a collection of exclusive cosmetic items including weapon skins and armor sets. There's also a classified requisition included containing numerous premium cosmetics for weapons and armor. Cutting-edge tech. Immediately apparent with FBC Firebreak's graphical aesthetic is realism is outfavored by art style, which, if interpreting this correctly, speaks to Remedy's attempt to hone in on their trademark weirdness and the humor inherent within. Regardless of art style though, PC players will still have access to some cutting-edge tech, provided their hardware is up to the task. Full ray tracing, DLSS 4 with multi-frame regeneration, and reflex. PC requirements. Initially, you might think the game's aesthetic-first art style will impose less on your rig, but with FBC Firebreak's minimum specs reportedly require an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X processor or equivalent, at least an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti, and 16GB of RAM, the speculation is Firebreak will be rig melting. Remedy haven't shared just yet a complete PC requirement picture, so fingers crossed a less demanding rig will be revealed as more info is shared. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.